Hola mi gente, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos nuevamente a mi canal de YouTube. Qué gusto verlos, me encanta que estén aquí en el día de hoy. Les traigo un video hablando acerca de por dónde uno debería de empezar cuando están aprendiendo el idioma español. I had a comment that I had received a few hours ago actually, and someone asked me where should they start when in terms of learning Spanish. Where should they start? What should they do? And I was like, you know what, this is a good video, so why not record it? So this is where we are today, recording a video on where should you start or what should you start in terms of learning Spanish when you are completely a beginner and you don't know anything about the Spanish language. So I wrote down a few things. The first one that I think is very, very important that I think helped me a lot when on my journey is the vowels. The vowels are super important. So once you know the vowels, you're pretty much able to say any word in Spanish, literally, whether you know the meaning or not. So they're A, E, I, O, U, A, E, O, U. They'll always be A, E, O, U. They'll never change. They'll always be A, E, O, U. So with that being said, if you see a word like, for example, manzana. Manzana means apple, but you see the A in the word manzana, it's a, manzana, manzana. It'll always be that. So the vowels are very, very important. So once you know the vowels, that's a good start. Also with a few exceptions, the exceptions are things like the H. So the H in Spanish is silent, doesn't have a sound at all. That's why when you have the word hola, it's spelled with H, pero no tiene sonido, doesn't have a sound. The H's are always gonna be silent no matter where they're placed in the word, whether they're placed at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the word, will always be silent. And then the J in Spanish, the J makes a H sound. So that's why you have the word jerga with the J. It's not jerga, it's jerga, right? So once you know the vowels plus the few exceptions, you'll be able to say any word, read Spanish perfectly fine without any problem. So that's where I would say start first with the vowels. The second one I would say start with will be phrases. So a lot of people want to go into the language and they want to focus on grammar. And although grammar is very, very important, and I do recommend grammar to everybody, it's super important that you don't go in with grammar. Grammar is something that I feel like one should start to learn after they've been accustomed to the language after some time. So you want to learn phrases. Phrases like hello, how are you? What is your name? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? How old are you? What's your favorite color? Common phrases like that that people use on the day-to-day basis. How did you learn Spanish? Why are you learning Spanish? Because if you're a Spanish learner, you're talking with a native, they're gonna want to know those things. So you want to prepare yourself. You want to know those phrases so when you hear them, you automatically know how to respond to them. So phrases are very, 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 pero muy importante aprender. Another one that I think is very important when you're starting out in the Spanish language is how to introduce yourself. So hi, my name is X. I am from this place. I am this many years old, a little bit about you, because they're gonna want to know about you. So that's another thing that I would say start when you learn Spanish is introducing yourself. How to also ask somebody else about themselves. Those things are very, very common. You don't want the conversation to just be about yourself. You want to know about the other person with whom you're speaking with también. So es muy importante aprender a presentarse. Another one is to learn the most common Spanish words. One word that's very common that has many meanings is the word que. Que is used all the time in Spanish. It's kind of impossible, I would say, to have a conversation en español sin usar la palabra que. Es una palabra bastante común en español, muy, muy, muy usada. Y sin esa palabra en español sería, no sé, no sería el español, de verdad. So la palabra que es muy importante. And then you have other words like entonces, como, por qué. Por qué also has two meanings. You have the por qué as in why, and then por qué as in because. So you want to learn common words like that, donde, cuánto. Those things are very important as well. So the common words in Spanish. And then another thing that's very important is a lot of people want to learn words like just so they can say that they know words. But if you're only learning words and they don't apply to you and who you are and what you do, what's the point of the words? You want to learn words that apply to what you do, apply to who you are, your interests, what you like, the things that you would talk about in English. You want to learn those things in Spanish so they'll be relevant. You can actually use them, because when you learn words that you don't really use on a day-to-day basis, you forget those words, right? It just goes out the window. So yes, es muy importante aprender palabras que tengan que ver contigo, con cosas que tú hagas, cosas que tú comas, cosas que te interesen a ti. Aprenden palabras que tengan que ver contigo, ¿verdad? Que no aprenden palabras que no vayas a usar, palabras que no tengan nada que ver contigo. Siempre quieres aprender palabras y cosas que tengan que ver contigo. Entonces, así mismo. And the last tip that I would give to you guys is just to speak speak with people. Go out, talk with people, have conversation. You can have conversation with people in person, via Skype, online. There are so many people out here who are learning Spanish, who are willing to talk with you. There are people on the streets, in the store, in the grocery store, in your local Walmart, Dollar Tree, where they speak Spanish. You can just kind of have like a little conversation with them. But speak. You can know all the Spanish in the world, so you think, and you don't speak with people and you'll never improve. You'll never be able to learn and make mistakes and fix mistakes. So that's very important. Another thing that I want to say that probably has nothing to do with how to start, but you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, and that's okay. Making mistakes is normal. You wouldn't be able to be where you're trying to be without mistakes. So mistakes are important. Don't feel down if someone's correcting. They just want you to know what you're saying and say it the right way. We don't want you guys to be out here being those no sabo kids, right? Those no sabo people. We want you to know de lo que están hablando. Entonces es muy importante hablar con la gente para que te puedan corregir cuando te equivoques o cuando cometas algún tipo de error al hablar. Entonces sí, no tengas miedo de hablar, por favor. So that is what I would say. Somebody had asked me that question. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and make a whole video about this. Also, I told him to use Duolingo. Duolingo is not sponsored, by the way, but Duolingo is a very good app in terms of starting out, knowing how the sentences will go and what word order they go in. They have like really weird sentences like I ate the front door. Like no one eats the front door, but it's just like they kind of teach you how to say I ate, and then you can take the word front door and you can replace it with your own vocabulary word that you may know or learned, or whatever the case may be. So in terms of like structure, Duolingo is really good, and then learning random vocabulary is also good for that. But could you use Duolingo to just learn the whole Spanish language? Absolutely not. I don't think you can use one thing to learn any language. I think you have to use multiple things. Watch videos, movies, talk with people, read books. All those things go into learning a language. So I also wanted to put that out there because I did tell him to start with Duolingo, but I wanted to be clear that Duolingo is not, you can't just use that for learning language. ¿Me entienden? That's all I have for today's video. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope if you're a new person learning Spanish or whatever, you take these tips and you run with them, you use them, you apply them to your language, and I promise you that you're gonna be speaking very good in no time at all. Les deseo éxito en sus aprendizajes del español. Español es un idioma bastante bonito, un idioma muy interesante. A mí me encanta mucho y a mí me gusta también que ustedes estén aprendiendo el idioma español. Que sigan así, éxito, y los veo en mi próximo video. Chao.